Listen, ladies, there's a reason some women walk into a room and command respect without saying a word. There's a reason some women never chase, never beg, and never settle, and still end up with the best opportunities, the best relationships, and the best life. It's not luck, it's not magic, it's mindset. High-value women don't think like everybody else. They don't operate on desperation, fear, or insecurity. They walk different, talk different, and expect different. And today, I'm about to tell you exactly how they think so you can step into your power and change your life. Let's get into it. A high-value woman knows exactly what she wants and refuses to compromise her worth for anything or anyone. She understands that setting standards is not about being demanding or difficult. It's about respecting herself and ensuring that the people she allows into her life align with her values. She does not bend her boundaries just to be liked, to keep the peace, or to avoid being alone. Instead, she stands firm in her expectations, knowing that the wrong job, the wrong man, or the wrong environment can cost her years of happiness and self-respect. One of the most significant things that separate a high-value woman from others is that she does not let fear dictate her choices. Many women lower their standards because they are afraid of losing a relationship, afraid of not fitting in, afraid of being judged. But a woman of worth does not operate from a place of fear. She operates from a place of confidence and self-assurance. She believes in quality over quantity, whether it's in friendships, romantic relationships, career opportunities, or even the way she spends her time. This is especially important in relationships. A high-value woman does not tolerate bare minimum effort. If a man wants to be in her life, he must show up consistently, treat her with respect, and make her feel valued. She does not beg for attention, nor does she accept breadcrumbs of love. If she feels like she has to convince someone to treat her right, she understands that this is already a sign that he is not the one. She does not stay in toxic situations hoping for change because she knows her peace is worth more than any relationship. When a woman truly embraces this mindset, she stops chasing people who don't deserve her. She no longer accepts excuses, mixed signals, or inconsistency. She does not waste time trying to prove her worth to someone who cannot see it. Instead, she focuses on being the best version of herself, knowing that the right people will naturally align with her energy. This level of self-respect does not only apply to relationships, it applies to every area of life. In the workplace, she does not tolerate being underpaid, undervalued, or overlooked. She asks for what she deserves, and if she does not get it, she is willing to walk away and find better. In friendships, she does not keep people around who drain her energy, disrespect her boundaries, or bring unnecessary drama into her life. She surrounds herself with those who uplift, support, and encourage her to grow. An excellent example of this is a woman named Maya. Maya had been dating a man who would only call her when it was convenient for him. He would cancel plans at the last minute, take hours to respond to her messages, and never make her feel like a priority. At first, she made excuses for his behavior. Maybe he was busy, maybe he just needed time, but one day she had enough. Instead of complaining or begging for his attention, she simply removed herself from the situation. She stopped answering his late-night texts, stopped waiting for him to change, and focused on herself. Not long after, she met a man who treated her with the respect and effort she deserved. By standing firm in her standards, she made space for someone better to enter her life. The bottom line is this. A high-value woman does not lower herself to meet someone else's level. She challenges them to rise to meet hers. She does not allow desperation to make decisions for her, and she does not accept less than she deserves simply because she fears being alone. She understands that her standards filter out the wrong people and attract the right ones. When she truly embraces this, life begins to shift in her favor. The moment she decides that she is worthy, the world starts treating her as such. A high-value woman does not seek validation from others to feel worthy, loved, or important. She knows that her value is not determined by someone else's opinion, attention, or approval. Instead, she cultivates an unshakable sense of self-worth that comes from within. She does not wait for a relationship, a job, or social media likes to tell her she is enough. She already knows it. This mindset is powerful because when a woman stops looking outside herself for validation, she becomes uncontrollable. She does not allow others to dictate how she feels about herself, nor does she compromise her authenticity just to fit in or be liked. When she walks into a room, she owns her space, not because she is trying to impress anyone, but because she is comfortable in her own skin. Women who seek external validation often find themselves caught in an exhausting cycle of people-pleasing, over-explaining, and needing approval before they can feel secure. They hesitate to make decisions without someone else's reassurance. They shrink themselves to avoid criticism, and they second-guess their choices based on what others think. But a high-value woman refuses to live like this. She understands that true confidence comes from self-acceptance and self-trust, not from the validation of others. This confidence makes her magnetic. When a woman carries herself with certainty, people naturally respect her. She does not need to chase love, attention, or opportunities because her energy attracts them. She does not waste time worrying about who likes her or who doesn't. She knows that those who truly value her will recognize her worth, and those who don't are simply not her people. One of the most liberating things a woman can do is to stop seeking validation from men. A high-value woman does not dress up, act a certain way, or change her personality just to gain male approval. She does not base her self-esteem on how much attention she gets from men. Instead, she focuses on loving herself fully, and because of that, the right men naturally gravitate toward her. Ironically, the less she seeks approval, the more attractive she becomes, because confidence is irresistible. This principle applies to every area of life. In the workplace, she does not wait for someone to recognize her skills before she believes in herself. She knows her capabilities and carries herself accordingly. In friendships, she does not overextend herself just to be accepted. She understands that real friends value her for who she is, not for how much she can give. A great example of this is a woman named Lisa. Lisa used to constantly seek validation from others. She would change her style, opinions, and even career choices based on what she thought would make people like her. She obsessed over whether she was good enough in relationships and would get anxious if a man took too long to text her back. But one day she realized how exhausting it was to live like this. She decided to validate herself first. She started doing things because she wanted to, not because she was hoping for approval. She pursued her passions, embraced her quirks, and stopped caring about outside opinions. And guess what? As soon as she stopped chasing validation, people started respecting her more. She began attracting better opportunities, real friendships, and a partner who valued her exactly as she was. The lesson here is simple. You are already enough. The moment a woman stops waiting for someone else to tell her she is valuable, she becomes unstoppable. When she learns to validate herself, she moves differently, speaks differently, and attracts different energy. Instead of trying to prove her worth, she simply lives in it. And that is what makes her truly high value. A high value woman sets firm boundaries and does not allow others to disrespect, manipulate, or take advantage of her. She understands that boundaries are not just about keeping people out. They are about protecting her peace, energy, and self-worth. When a woman knows her limits and enforces them unapologetically, she commands respect without even trying. Many women struggle with boundaries because they fear rejection, confrontation, or being labeled as difficult. They overextend themselves, tolerate mistreatment, and stay silent when they should speak up, all in an attempt to be liked or avoid conflict. But a high-value woman knows that people-pleasing is a losing game. The more you allow people to cross your boundaries, the more they will take advantage of you, and the more you sacrifice your own needs to make others happy, the more you lose yourself in the process. Boundaries apply to every area of life. In relationships, she does not entertain inconsistency, mixed signals, or disrespect. She does not allow a man to play games with her emotions or make her feel like an option. If someone is not meeting her standards, she is not afraid to walk away. She does not beg, chase, or try to fix people because she knows that the right person will never require her to compromise her self-respect. In friendships, she does not tolerate one-sided relationships where she is always giving but rarely receiving. She surrounds herself with people who uplift and support her, not those who drain her energy or undermine her confidence. She knows that true friends respect boundaries. They do not guilt trip, manipulate, or push past limits. In her career, she does not allow herself to be undervalued or overworked without recognition. She does not say yes to every request just to be seen as a team player. She knows when to say no and when to negotiate for what she deserves. She does not let fear keep her from standing up for herself because she knows that her worth is non-negotiable. The key to setting boundaries is consistency. A high-value woman does not just talk about boundaries, she enforces them. She does not explain, justify, or beg for people to respect her limits. She simply states them clearly and follows through with action. If someone continues to violate her boundaries, she removes them from her space. No drama, no second guessing, just self-respect in action. Let's take an example. Imagine a woman named Sarah. Sarah was always the one who dropped everything for others. Whether it was a flaky boyfriend, an over-demanding boss, or a friend who only called when they needed something. She thought that by saying yes all the time, she was being a good person. But deep down, she felt drained, unappreciated, and invisible. One day, Sarah decided to make a change. She stopped answering late-night calls from the boyfriend who only reached out when it was convenient for him. She started speaking up at work and asking for the pay raise she deserved. She stopped making excuses for friends who never showed up for her. At first, some people pushed back. They were used to her being the nice girl who never said no. But Sarah stood firm. And you know what happened? The wrong people faded away and the right people stepped up. She started attracting relationships that were built on mutual respect, and she finally felt at peace. The truth is, people will only treat you the way you allow them to. A high-value woman does not let fear or guilt stop her from enforcing her boundaries. She understands that every time she says no to something that does not serve her, she is saying yes to, and that is the ultimate act of self-love. A high-value woman invests in herself because she knows that her growth, happiness, and success are her own responsibility. She does not wait for someone else to come along and improve her life. She takes charge of it. She prioritizes her mental, emotional, physical, and financial well-being, knowing that when she is at her best, she can show up powerfully in every area of her life. Many women fall into the trap of pouring all their energy into others, relationships, family, work, while neglecting themselves. They put their dreams on hold, ignore their needs, and settle for less than they deserve. But a high-value woman understands that she is her greatest asset and she refuses to put herself last. Self-investment starts with mindset. She feeds her mind with knowledge, wisdom, and positivity. She reads, learns, and surrounds herself with people who challenge her to grow. She does not waste time on gossip, negativity, or drama because she understands that what she consumes mentally shapes her reality. If she wants a fulfilling life, she has to cultivate a strong, resilient, and focused mindset. She also prioritizes her physical health. She understands that feeling good in her body gives her confidence and energy. She exercises not just to look good, but to feel strong. She nourishes her body with good food and rests when she needs to because she knows that self-care is not a luxury, it is a necessity. A high-value woman also takes care of her emotional well-being. She heals from past wounds instead of carrying them into the future. She does not allow toxic relationships to drain her. She seeks therapy or personal development if needed because she values her peace over anything else. She understands that unhealed trauma can show up in every aspect of life, so she works on herself, not for anyone else, but for her own happiness and freedom. Another key area she invests in is financial independence. She does not rely on someone else to take care of her. She builds her own wealth and security. She educates herself about money, budgeting, and investing, making sure she is never in a position where she has to stay in a bad situation because she cannot afford to leave. She chases her own success, whether through a career, business, or side hustle, and she takes pride in her ability to stand on her own 2 feet. She also invests in her passions. She does not let life become a cycle of work and responsibilities. She finds joy in hobbies, creative pursuits, and things that excite her. She allows herself to dream big, set goals, and go after them with confidence. She knows that true fulfillment comes from living a life that feels meaningful, not just checking off boxes of what society expects. She also enforces financial boundaries. She does not allow people to manipulate her into lending money she is uncomfortable giving, nor does she tolerate financial abuse in relationships. She is clear about what she is willing to contribute and does not feel obligated to sacrifice her financial security for others. She ensures that money is a tool for freedom, not a means for others to control her. One of the most important boundaries she sets is mental and spiritual boundaries. She does not allow negativity, criticism, or other people's opinions to dictate how she feels about herself. She protects her mindset by avoiding environments that drain her and spending time in spaces that nourish her growth. She engages in practices that keep her mentally strong, whether it is meditation, journaling, prayer, or simply surrounding herself with uplifting people. She does not let others project their fears, insecurities, or doubts onto her. Let's take an example. Imagine a woman named Maya. Maya was always the person everyone relied on. She was the friend who was always available, the girlfriend who tolerated being disrespected, and the employee who worked overtime without complaint. But she was exhausted and unfulfilled. One day, Maya decided enough was enough. She started setting boundaries. She said no to extra work that drained her, distanced herself from friends who only contacted her when they needed something, and stood up for herself in her relationship. At first, people were shocked, but over time they adjusted. Maya felt more empowered, more at peace, and more in control of her life. She realized that the people who truly valued her respected her boundaries, and the ones who didn't were never meant to stay. The truth is, when you set boundaries, you teach people how to treat you. A high-value woman does not allow disrespect, manipulation, or unnecessary stress into her life. She knows that she deserves relationships, opportunities, and experiences that honor her worth. And by setting boundaries, she creates a life where she is valued, respected, and truly happy. A high-value woman knows her worth and never settles for less. She understands that she is not desperate for love, validation, or approval from anyone. She does not lower her standards just to keep someone in her life. She operates from a place of confidence, knowing that she brings value to every relationship, romantic, professional, or personal. She does not chase, beg, or compromise on the things that truly matter to her. Instead, she attracts the right people by standing firm in her self-respect and self-worth. Many women fall into the trap of accepting less than they deserve because they fear being alone or worry that they won't find better. They settle for partners who don't treat them well, jobs that drain them, or friendships that take more than they give. But a high-value woman is different. She understands that being alone is better than being undervalued. She refuses to stay in situations that do not align with her self-respect. She has clear non-negotiables in relationships. She does not tolerate dishonesty, disrespect, or inconsistency. If someone cannot meet her standards, she does not waste time trying to change them. Instead, she moves forward, knowing that the right person will meet her at her level. She does not settle for breadcrumbs of affection, attention, or commitment. She expects full effort, and if it's not there, she gracefully walks away. She also applies this mindset to her career and ambitions. She does not accept a job that underpays her, undervalues her, or makes her feel stuck. She knows her skills and contributions have worth, and she is not afraid to demand what she deserves. Whether it's negotiating her salary, pursuing a career change, or starting her own business, she does not settle for less than what she is capable of achieving. This mentality extends to friendships and social circles as well. She does not stay around people who drain her energy, gossip about her, or fail to support her growth. She surrounds herself with individuals who uplift her, inspire her, and respect her boundaries. If a friendship feels one-sided or toxic, she lets it go without guilt. At the core of knowing her worth, a high-value woman understands that self-love is the foundation of everything. She does not wait for a relationship, a job, or external validation to make her feel worthy. She already knows she is valuable. She invests in herself, physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. She takes care of her health, educates herself, develops new skills, and prioritizes her happiness. Imagine a woman named Lisa. Lisa was in a long-term relationship with a man who never made her feel truly valued. He was inconsistent, took her for granted, and made her question her worth. For years, she tolerated it because she was afraid of being single. One day, Lisa realized she deserved better. She walked away from the relationship, focused on herself, and built a life that made her happy. Months later, she met a man who treated her with the love and respect she always wanted. Because she refused to settle, she found a relationship that truly aligned with her worth. When a woman knows her worth, everything in her life changes. She no longer chases love, attention, or success. Instead, she attracts it naturally by setting high standards and refusing to accept anything less. She moves with confidence, makes decisions that honor her self-respect, and creates a life that reflects her true value, and in doing so, she becomes unstoppable. Ladies, everything changes the moment you start thinking differently. The moment you start choosing yourself, setting boundaries, focusing on your growth, and refusing to settle for less than you deserve, your entire life will shift. You don't have to chase, you don't have to beg, you don't have to settle. You just have to decide who you are and show up as her every single day. Now go out there and be her.